Hello everyone, welcome back to The Addicted Bookworm, where my addictions all over the internet. On this channel I do library book hauls, book reviews, both physical and digital, audiobooks, and so much more. Alright, so it has been a week since I started using Graft, and I'm currently uploading a short onto my channel, so you're not going to get my phone. But I had decided last week was Saturday that I was going to start using Storyograph instead of Goodreads, because with Goodreads, because it's owned by Amazon, you have people that get on there and they don't read the book. They may have a problem with the author, so they use Goodreads to punish them for their views or for what they might have said or whatever. And I'm not going to mention names of people that have been punished this way because that is not my place to mention them. I just want to talk about my week using Storyograph. So Storyograph, I'm late to the game. I'm very late to the game, but I have it on my phone and I have it on my computer. And one of the huge problems that I had with Goodreads was that you had to finish the books that were on the top before you got to see the books that, were below it. With Storygraph, I don't have to do that, which is a great benefit to me. I love it that I don't have to do that. Now, was it Sunday? Sunday, I reached 240 books. And for people that don't know, that did not watch that video, I went and I decided to knock it down to 240 books from 300. Not because I did not believe that I could actually read 300 books. I still believe I can do that. But because of the fact that I was feeling as though my channel was becoming more performative than a book review channel. Like, I was always saying, okay, hey, I'm reading 10 books. And then I would read maybe only 5 or maybe 8 or whatever. And I would feel like, and no matter how many times I had stated that I was not competing with people, or that, you should not be competing with people, I just felt like that I was still competing with people. So with Storygraph, I feel like that I can take more time with my books. Like, I'm currently reading, I think it's The Price of War. I think that's the title of it. I've been reading a chapter a day. So I turn my tablet on, or my e-reader on, and I go to it, and then I will sit there and I will spend about 15 minutes reading word for word for word, sentence by sentence, paragraph by paragraph, until I'm done with that chapter. And then I will get onto my word processor and I will type up, like, the characters. Like, I'll go back and I'll, like, to get the title and the name of the character, and I will basically type up, like, the character and what he did in the chapter, or what she did in the chapter, or whatever, and then I will save it. And then anytime that this character does something more, I will say, well, in chapter 2 or chapter 4 or whatever, this character continued to do this. And I spend probably about 15 minutes with a chapter, depending on how long the chapter is, maybe 30 minutes. And then I will spend about 15 more minutes writing down the character. Because what I intend to do is copy and paste it onto the story graph. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm also going to use those notes to do my review. So what that will probably end up happening is it'll probably end up being probably about an hour-long review. Which people are going to be like, dang. But when I got the little ribbon saying that I completed it, I was like, great. Great. Now I can move on and do what I wanted to do, though earlier than I intended. But StoryGraph is interesting because I can go and look at all the books that I'm currently reading, which is right now it's about 25 right now of books that that Goodreads has down that I'm currently reading, but that also StoryGraph has me down for currently reading. What I have done is I've made a point that, okay, I'm going to go and pull out my Nook, and I will only type up the book that I'm on and all that. I don't put it on my Goodreads, none of that type of stuff. So, week into it, I have found that StoryGraph is so much better than Goodreads. And I love it, and I said this in the video, that one of the biggest draws to StoryGraph was that it is not a performative website. It's not a performative app. You're not performing for a bunch of people that you don't even know. And on the hold on. On the app, just like on the website, they give you recommendations of books that they think you'll like based on your parameters, like what you wanted to read. So what I did, or what I am going to do, especially when I get my library books read, is I'm actually going to go and use StoryGraph to pick out the next books that I'm going to read. I'll go on Libby and see if I can get them off of Libby, and what I'm actually just going to do is just pick out 2 books, and those are the books that I will read for that month. I'm not interested in beating my Goodreads goal. I'm not interested in that type of stuff. I'm interested in just sitting down and reading a book. And they gave me recommendations from books that are even from the 1980s, which I was just totally blown away by. Goodreads doesn't do that. Goodreads doesn't show you older books. They're more inclined to the much more newer books, the books that are trending, they're hot and all that. Like, I just want a book recommendations based on what I know I will read. And there was some true crime in there. I'm not really a fan of true crime, so I'm just going to definitely go past it, because I did read true crime in my 20s, but I'm not really interested in I'm not really interested in true crime at this moment. Now, I may go back later on. If I'm in the mood for true crime, I will. Now, I probably got it because I kind of club true crime. But maybe later on down the road, I will probably pick up a true crime book and read it. But I also feel like that being away from Goodreads and just like, okay, I'm going to read my books that are on my Nook. And then it's like, I type the title in and it will tell me, and then I do that. I just also feel like Storygraph has a larger selection of books that um, that are there. So like they give you obscure books which I've never like seen in my entire life, and I was looking, it's like I didn't know that book existed, or I didn't know that book existed, and I just go and say, okay, I'm going to pick the first two, and I don't care if the cover doesn't look interesting. I'm gonna pick those two because I may like those two. I may like those two. So that's what I do. So what I'm basically doing, as I said, is when I get my library books read, I am going, and I'm not talking about the books that I'm not talking about the books that I picked out for this month. I'm talking about my library books. And so I'm going to sit there with Storygraph, and I'm going to, like, I'll see the first two, like, oh, okay, let me go and see if, like, Libby has them, or whatnot. And if they have them, then I'm going to check them out. And then I will spend time with both of these books. Or I may just check out one book. I don't know. But definitely going to give it a try and see how the recommendation, if I like it, if I happen to like it. And then of course the option of putting down, like, remove the book. Like, I had wanted to remove Werewolf in Texas because I will read it probably sometime next year. And it didn't immediately disappear, but when I went back to Storygraph about a couple hours later, it was gone, which I was very happy about. So you can remove books from your list if you're not planning on to read it. So my week with Storygraph has been really interesting, and I've been really enjoying it. And so I'm going to continue to use it. So, like, every week on a Saturday, I will tell you how another week with this site has gone. And everything. So, looking forward to continuing to use it. And this girl's dead tired. I'm going to go off to bed. So, I will see you guys next time. Bye.